Hello, good evening. It's Wednesday evening. We are now at 7:15. We had a little technical difficulties, and I'm Elizabeth Hanson, and this is Keto Confab, where we discuss issues related to living a keto lifestyle, and we try to support each other in our decision to live healthy and keto. And I don't really have a topic for this week, but while we were starting to begin, Becky mentioned that her son loves cheese puffs or Cheetos and stuff. Have you tried any of these?
I have had the cheddar kind,
Okay.
and they're good enough for me. He wouldn't eat them. I did not care for the ranch flavor. Tammy, that's what I had in the hotel that day. But I've never had the Parmesan.
I like the Parmesan best. I don't eat many of them because cheese and milk products make my nose run. But I can have a few of these as a nice crunchy snack. I like the Parmesan. I like the cheddar. The tomato basil is tasty. I agree with you. The ranch is a little nasty.
Yeah, I bought the little bags, and Costco had a pack that had ranch and cheddar in it. And I wouldn't normally have bought the ranch, but it was this combo pack, so I did.
Yeah.
And yeah, not good.
Hey, have you guys seen about making it yourself in the microwave?
No,
You just
but
take
I
a little
see-
pile of cheese and microwave
I
it. don't
have
you?
some recipes I want to try.
I
Oh,
have
yeah?
one of those potato peelers that you just sort of run like that against the potato or the cucumber.
Uh-huh.
And you can make a really thin slice of Parmesan cheese.
Uh-huh.
And you just lay it. I lay it on, I have one of those silicone sheets that you put in the oven, for
Mhm.
baking.
Mhm.
And I put that in the microwave, and then I put those little thin slices of Parmesan. And then like 45 seconds later, you've got your own whisk.
Chips, your own little chips. Oh,
Mhm.
that sounds delicious.
You can do that with other cheeses too, like, well, hard cheeses are the best.
Oh, yeah. Now, I saw a YouTube video where you take some shredded, like sharp cheddar, and you put it in a little pile and you put it in the oven. And I tried that and I liked the taste and the texture was good, but it was the devil getting it off the silver foil. The silver foil wanted to stick to it, and then you get silver foil in your mouth. That is
I
not.
used a silicone baking mat, and
Yeah.
I don't recall it sticking, but it was salty to me, really salty.
Yeah.
Did you let
I
it
found
cool,
it really
or did
salty.
you take it off when it was hot?
Oh no, I let it cool.
Maybe if you take it off sooner, it wouldn't have stuck, because that's
Yeah.
the way it is with other things that I make. But
I've
I mean,
thought
I don't
about
know.
switching out to use parchment instead of the foil, but I didn't
And
have any
can peel it
parchment
off.
at the time. And I think the parchment, you could peel it off. And I don't have a silicone baking sheet. Maybe I should get one, but like I said, I can't eat too much cheese or I get
I'm not
those
sure if
issues.
they're so healthy. I don't really know. If you put silicone in the microwave, I don't know what happens chemically. Maybe Scott knows. I don't know.
Well, maybe if you just put it on a plate and put it in the microwave
I
instead of
don't
the
do mine in
oven.
the microwave. Mine goes in the oven. The silicone goes in the oven.
Yeah.
Well, the thing is, when you mess around with the oven, you have to go really low temperatures with the cheese. But I find 45 seconds in the microwave is, you can't beat that. Can't beat it.
Yeah, I've taken shredded cheese and put it in a bowl in the microwave and just melted it, and then I sit there going, man, I wish I had a cracker. And but then I'll just eat the cheese by itself. But yeah, anyway. So Tammy, as I recall, you were using your continuous glucose monitoring.
Well, I
And
think it has been fairly much, I'm not happy with it.
oh, you're not.
So
Oh,
I am not happy with it. My first day, the readings were 130 and 140, and that was absolutely wrong. I mean, I'm never that high. And even I went to my Keto Mojo and took my glucose and it was 85 and it said 145. That kind of settled down after a day. So I just thought that was okay.
Okay.
Then my readings have all been in the 90s. I would check it on my Keto Mojo and it would be about 10 points less. The margin of error on the continuous glucose monitor is 15%. 15% is a
Ooh.
lot when you're at 100. It could be 115 or it could be 85, and it could be anywhere between 85 and 115 for your 15% margin of error. So I wasn't happy with that. My readings are fairly consistent. I hardly have, so then I thought, well, I'm just going to look for spikes like after you eat. It doesn't matter what the number is. Did the number go up and did the number come down? And my readings are all fairly close. I hardly have any spikes. I mean, I may have a spike of about 8 points or 10 points, and then I make a note of what I ate. That might have made it go up. Because I like some sugar-free mints and stuff. And so when I noticed that when I ate some of the sugar-free mints, it happened to go up. So I thought, well, that's kind of funny because, I mean, that's an interesting fact that it went up when I ate those. And I'm trying to get to my readings for yesterday. When I'm home like this, I try to take it every 30 minutes. The other thing I don't like about it is I heard or read someplace that the meter actually takes and memorizes your readings like every, I don't know, minute or 2 minutes or something like that. But the only readings you get was when you scan the device. So you only get the numbers that you scanned. I want the readings from every 2 minutes or ever how long, it checks it, but I don't get that. You only get it when you scan. So when I'm home, I try to set my phone to scan it every 30 minutes. So like last night, I don't know if you can see my numbers. They're all
Yeah, we can see those.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
which was from 10:50 at night. But those are like every 30 minutes for that day. And then the day before, the numbers, except for that 113 at the top, which was at 9:47 at night for some reason, my numbers are all just really, really consistent. I mean, they're not all that far. So I don't really see anything that I thought I might see, like spikes and like after you eat, does it go up? And then how long does it take to come down? I don't really see any of that. So I'm not very happy with it. Anyway, there's my story. So when I'm at work during the day, I don't remember to scan very often because I don't set a timer for every 30 minutes. When I'm at work, I don't want to, I'm in the office with other people. So that would be inconvenient and noisy with my coworkers.
Well, it seems to me that that's a flaw in the system. If it's not easy to just set to automatically scan and give you the data like every 10, 15, 30 minutes, that's a flaw in the
Well,
system.
it does give me a little chart, but the chart is so little. I mean, the chart goes from 80 at the bottom, 50 at the bottom to 350. Well, my little numbers that go from 80 to 100, it only takes up that much space. And you can't really see it. You can set your top and your bottom. So you can see, that I went up and went down.
Can you pinch it? Can you pinch it and open it up at all or anything like that?
No, and I did go on the internet. Let me log in and maybe I can show you something else. Did I save it? I did save it, I know. The view on the internet, I have only played around with it one day. I don't know if I can find it. But anyway, my overall experience is I'm disappointed.
Mm-hmm. You've been keto how long, Tammy?
Slightly under two years.
And you're pretty consistent. You're not a cheater or a picker of things.
I wouldn't quite say that. I have had moments and maybe weeks that I kind of ate more than I should have. And then I've kind of been back on now good since maybe, January with my New Year's resolution type thing. But I don't call it a resolution. I just call it a goal.
Yeah, yeah.
Did you ever
Um,
eat sugar or only legal foods?
I
legal
mean,
food.
when I kind of went off, what did I eat?
Yeah.
Chips and salsa would be my downfall at the Mexican restaurant.
Oh,
Other than that,
yeah.
it would just be keto sweets and keto stuff. I mean, it's not like I went to the Mexican restaurant every day. It was maybe once every week or every other week. But yeah, it was the keto sweets, not sugar, but,
Allulose
I
or
have,
malt.
I have a keto store here and they have a lot of great, wonderful keto desserts. And, and she had a little Valentine's box that I got and they were so good. I went and bought some extras of some of the ones the chocolate truffles that were really good, which I gave one to Becky in Atlanta. And they're awesome. And so it would be overeating keto things. So it's not the end of the world. And I kind of back off on that. And maybe I might have one of those chocolate truffles once a week. It's not, for me, it's not the end of the world. I'm at my original goal weight, but now that you get to your goal weight, you want to go more. And so that's where I'm at because I want to go more than my original goal. So,
go down more or
yeah,
down?
yeah.
Oh,
10,
oh,
maybe 10 or 15 pounds would be good.
oh, okay.
What I'm thinking is maybe this continuous glucose monitoring is better for persons who are like type 1 or type 2 diabetes. And they are, even though they've been keto for a year, they're still having regular blood sugars above 100 or 120 or whatever. And they're like, I don't know how to get my blood sugars down, And so then trying to investigate what makes your blood sugars spike and trying to find like what time of day your blood sugars spike and stuff would be, important. But for me, I was interested in the continuous glucose monitoring just to see what it would do, just because I like data. I like looking at stuff. I like looking at charts and everything, not because I don't know what to eat and I don't know what spikes my blood sugar, because I most certainly know what spikes my blood sugar. And everything. And I'm not in a stall with weight loss or anything. So, yeah, I mean, it's interesting. I mean, I kind of relate it to this fitness watch thing that I have. And it gives me all sorts of data. And some of it is crazy. Some of it's crazy too. Of course, the dashboard, I don't know if this is going to show up. Oh no, I hit something.
Well, the thing of it is, it's a wonderful idea for children with diabetes that they don't
Oh,
stick themselves all the time.
oh,
That they just,
see, and that's the thing, like my daughter I was talking to you about, we tried to get her blood sugar once just to see what her blood sugar runs when she's eating her Reese's Pieces and everything constantly. But I mean, it took hours to be able to get her to let us poke her, And so a person like her, yeah, I think that's a good idea, Patricia.
I have a nephew who had child onset diabetes and he's 48 now. And he got one of the early ones of those CGMs.
Mhm.
And he puts it on his stomach somewhere, I don't know. And he says, yeah, you have to keep calibrating it. He says, but it works pretty good. And he said he's really glad he doesn't have to prick himself all the time anymore. So
Yeah.
the people that have serious diabetes, it's a wonderful thing.
Yeah. I have a girlfriend who had one of those insulin pumps put in because she was just a brittle diabetic is what they called her. And she loves the pump because she can look down at any moment and it will tell her what her blood sugar is. If she pushes a button, it will tell her. And then she can decide how much insulin to go in and everything. Yep.
But I will also tell you that on another Zoom group, someone has bought one of those. It's called ketonics breathalyzer kind of things for ketos. And that thing costs, I think it's $189. And it also needs a little bit of calibrating or something. And, you know, it's not going to be the same number as you would get from a blood prick. But he loves it because he can do it, you know, 10 times a day. He can do it at work. He can do it in the car, everything. And I asked him, I said, well, how long have you had? He said he's had it over 2 years already. So it works for, and then it comes with 2 mouthpieces, but he and his wife share the same mouthpiece. But you know, I would be a little bit concerned about cleaning that off every once in a while.
Yeah, I think.
That's like a cheaper option than a $200 or $250 CGM.
So
Well,
it's
CGM
breath.
only works, the CGM only works for 2 weeks and then you have to get another one. It's not,
Yeah.
it's not like you get to keep it. Elizabeth, can you let me share my screen?
Oh, sure. Let's see. Share screen.
You know what, and Wilma's had her hand raised, I noticed.
Yeah, I know. Wilma, while I figure out how to let her share her screen, why don't you tell us what you're thinking?
My question to Tammy was what app she was using.
Yeah, I wrote back. It's the free Libra 2. You have to have a doctor's prescription to get it. And so I got that from an online store and I'm good to buy whatever I want from them for a year. Because I did actually talk to a doctor. That's my office call visit, you know, because you can't, my doctor wouldn't here in Mississippi wouldn't give it to me without you have to have a prescription and she wouldn't give it to me. So, so that's fine. Did you get it, Elizabeth?
Well, I marked it so you could share. So
no, you have to go down to share screen and then allow participants to at the bottom, there's a share screen.
Try that.
Yep. Okay, so this is the online, thing when you do it online. So you can see like on Tuesday, these are all the readings that I scanned that day at the times and where they're at, you know, so you can see that I'm in that 15, I don't know what this 114, it was probably after I ate something, you know, when it went up and then it kind of went back down. And even though I think my actual those may not be actual, but at least it was the trend of going up and down. I probably ate something here. Is it 4? I don't know what I did, you know. But anyway, here's all the ones that I scanned. So Elizabeth, this may make your data soul to be happy, you know, if you get
I
stuff.
love data.
And I have one of these, you know, for every day. So there's, you know, let's see, you know, and there's like Sunday, I could set my timer for every 30 minutes on my phone and scan. That's why there's so many. I don't get as many, you know, when I'm at work, when I try to remember.
What do the little apples there mean? The little
I don't
gold
know.
apples.
I just saw those. I don't know what those mean. I just saw those when I only looked at this once, so it was kind of a quick thing. I don't know what weekly summaries mean.
It says over on the left side, it said carb grams.
Oops.
Daily log.
There, carb
Grams.
down on the bottom. Yeah.
Oh, so maybe I put something in, because you can, when you take a reading, you can make a comment. So one of them, like I put after lunch, or I put, I don't know, I only did that a couple times. So that's probably the only 2 comments I might have put in. Let me see if I can find.
It seems like your glucose levels are really consistent.
Right. And
it'd be
even though
nice.
even though I think they're wrong.
Yeah, if they would graph just within a certain range, like if you'd have it to go just between like 50 and 180 or something, you know, because
Right,
as
and then
the
your
graph
graph
is now, it's a huge range.
I know,
Yeah.
and you don't see this any ups and, I mean, you just don't see it because it's so flat because
It's-
the chart is too big.
Yeah, the chart
Maybe
is
you could,
covering a really wide range, yeah. And I don't know if this is, typical for a person. I would tend to think that this is, I would tend to think your average person actually swings a lot more than this, especially a non-keto person, I would guess.
Oh, yeah,
Yeah, oh, yeah,
non-keto
yeah.
people, up, down, up, down, up, down. And the swing, it can be 50 to 100 points, depending on their diabetic status and what they're eating and stuff. And that's the whole point of ketosis and keto is to get our blood sugars to stay within, a range of like 20 points consistently, um, because that's the most healthy for the body tissues and the functioning of the body and the brain, you know. At least that's what I understood. And so I think these numbers are cool. And yeah, I like data, but anybody know whether on Chronometer we can put in our glucose numbers and things. Does it give us that big range instead of keeping it within, the range that we're in? I haven't looked at my ranges for a while. Because, that seems like something that could easily be fixed in the software to where, they have the availability of being from just below 100 all the way to 300. But if they see that your range is between
Yeah, if you could
70 and
adjust the range, yeah.
110 or whatever, it would adjust to that,
The other thing is, Tammy, do you know if that data can be downloaded into like an Excel file or something?
I think it can be,
Yeah, because if you can put it into Excel file, well, then in Excel, you can play with the the range all you want on the chart. Yeah,
it's got print or save to a PDF. So, you can probably,
yeah, yeah, good. Okay.
and you might be able to change the settings for the graphs. I don't know. I haven't played around with it because, I've
Yeah,
been kind
yeah,
of
you might be.
disappointed with it and don't really have time to
Yeah.
try and figure it out. But I did get my login finally and to look at it. And
Yeah, but
Was it painful putting it on?
no, it did not even hurt at all. I didn't expect it to hurt after it got in there. I mean, if you're gonna leave it in for 2 weeks, it can't hurt. But when I put it in, it didn't even hurt. I didn't even feel it. And
Great.
it's right here, so it's in maybe a more sensitive area. It's not in tough skin, like it's not in tough skin. Your underarm back in the back is nice tender skin that doesn't get sun and doesn't get wear and tear and stuff. So, but it did not even hurt at all.
well, that's cool. So maybe you feel a little prick when you put it in and then you don't feel it.
No, you don't
So,
feel it at all.
Patricia, I'm interested this thing that your nephew and his wife share. It's a breathe
Okay.
thing.
That was two different stories. I was telling you
Oh,
about
okay.
another keto guy is on a
Oh,
Zoom
okay.
meeting. He and his wife use a thing called ketonics.
Ketonics.
Ketonix.
Okay.
And I looked it up. It costs about $189 or something like that. But he likes it.
Mhm.
They're right now the two of them are at goal weight, so they haven't been that consistent with watching their carbs. And
Okay.
so their keto numbers are not showing up not good.
Okay.
So he said this week is not a good week to demonstrate. But anyway, he thinks it's a great idea. And I like the idea of one payment that lasts for 2 years and that you can use it as many times as you want during the day. So that if you are trying to see how you react to heavy whipping cream, whatever the number it starts at, check it an hour later and then check it 2 hours later and see how it goes up and down, and I think that would be valid. So anyway, yeah.
Did he happen to mention if does it Bluetooth to your phone and give you a chart of what your ketones are, or do you manually
Yes,
put it in?
yes, there's also an
Okay.
app with that thing too.
Oh, okay. Now I've seen this breath type thing on YouTube channel ads and stuff about what do you need to eat? And it's like you blow into it and it says, oh, you need carbs, or you need fruit, or you need protein and stuff. And I'm like, really? I wonder how they figure that out. I can't remember the name of the device, but I'm like, I don't want that. But the ketone one sounds interesting, and it's $100 and something, and you can use it for 2 years. Wow, that's
It's almost 200,
yeah.
almost $200.
Oh, it's almost 200.
Now,
But
the other thing that my nephew uses, he's a big iPhone and he's a geek.
Mhm.
So he has, I think, a more expensive thing that it works with the he's one of the early adopters for the iPhone and all that. So
Mhm. The other thing we have to think about is we don't have to buy strips, because the ketone monitor I use, I think every strip is like 50 or 75 cents,
okay, the other thing you have to remember if you're considering this is if you want to do the Dr. Boz ratio, it's not going to work.
Oh,
Because you see, you have to compare apples to apples. So you take the blood at one point in time, which
yeah.
has your both glucose and your ketones, and then you can run the ratio, the Dr. Boz ratio. But if you're taking an acetone, which happens at, I don't know actually what time of day, it hits your mouth
Yeah.
compared to when it gets in your bloodstream. So you can't really do the Dr. Boz ratio.
Yeah. I suppose there might be someone who could figure out the mathematics to convert it or something. Because I mean, it's got to be relatable at least, to have any kind of reliability, right, Scott? Wouldn't you think if you're doing
Yeah,
yeah, I mean, I wonder how that ratio would work. It's math. That's not my department.
Well, the thing, honestly, when I'm talking to myself, I say, well, Patricia, you've got to basically, you have to be producing ketones on a regular basis for this to even work at all.
Yeah.
So I'm not really at that point. So, if I get to the point where I'm producing ketos on a regular basis, I probably won't care about the Dr. Boz ratio anymore.
Yeah.
I'll lost the weight and all that.
I've actually not been looking at my Dr. Boz ratio recently because my ketones have been so low, it's depressing. When your ketones are consistently at 0.5 or 0.6 all the time, it's depressing to work out the Dr. Boz ratio and it be 335 or whatever, So I
What
have
is,
been
what's
looking.
a good range? What is a good range?
Well, you want to be under 80. You want to be 80 or under to make sure you're in autophagy. You want to be 40 and under. What is it? 40 and under is for
It's people that have serious medical issues
like when I was
cancer
working,
or diabetes.
yeah,
and you're
like when
trying
I
to
was
lose
trying
weight.
to heal my liver, when I was first on keto, I wanted to stay at 40 or below. And then if you're fighting cancer or you want to prevent cancer, like you have the gene for breast cancer and 5 people in your family have had breast cancer and you don't want to get it, but you don't want to do a double mastectomy, you'd want to stay at 20 or below. So my first goal when I got on keto a year and 4 months ago was to get to 80 and try and stay at 80 consistently. And I did. And then like 6 months or so in, I worked and worked to get to 40, and I did. And now ooh, I'm not close. There are days I'm close, but not consistently. And I need to get consistent. So
I did want to report about how I'm doing this week.
okay. Oh yeah.
This was my second week of doing the 36-hour fast.
Yeah. How'd that go?
And it went very well again. You know, I was reading somewhere, I can't remember. They were talking about turning your fat from white fat to brown fat.
Oh, I've
And
heard about that.
most people can't do that. Only little children can do that.
Oh.
But the other way you can do it is with thermogenesis, which is, you know, really cold bathtubs and things like that.
I don't like
And
that idea.
here's the thing. I lost 5 pounds last week, and I lost 2 pounds this week with just one 36-hour fast. And then I go back to my 16-8 routine. But the thing of it is, guys, I'm in the swimming pool 3 times a week.
Oh.
And the pool is, it's not really cold. It's like 8 degrees. But it's, you know, you have to get used to it when you get in the water. So there's a change, there's a bodily change when I go in the water. So I'm thinking that maybe I'm doing a little bit of thermogenesis while I'm doing that. And of course, after I finish the pool, I do a 15-minute sauna too. So that takes the temperature back up quite a bit. So I'm sort of praying that maybe I'm creating a little bit of that brown fat thing.
Yeah, I've read a little bit about the brown fat, but I'm not somewhere I can. I'm not to the point where I can play with brown fat and white fat, and I just got to get rid of some fat. Period. So. Anyway, but good for you doing another 36. I still haven't done anything. I go the other way. It's not fasting. I do marathon being awake, you know, like I'll be awake for 36 hours and then sleep for 6, you know. And so, but trying to get there to where I can have my right sleep time. So how did everybody else do this week? How were you this week, Christine?
I think pretty good. So I've been keeping track of, you know, the urine ketones and carbs, and I've been on like 19, 18, 17.2, 15. But I mean, calories, Dr. Boz says, don't think about it. So, okay. And I did try something that she suggested, and I really didn't like it. And that was to go out and get buffalo wings. And when I went to the wild buffalo wings, when I went to the restaurant, I said, I want something with no sugar in it. Oh, well, we have to talk to the manager. Well, I left there. I went to a different restaurant. I really don't like chicken wings. So I never had them before. Not going to have them again. Had them yesterday. I woke up, I had trace ketones, and all I had was the chicken wings and then a mayonnaise sour cream thing that I made at home. I didn't even take any of their dips because they have soybean oil in them. And I thought, that's really weird. And then that was last night that I measured. And then this morning trace also. But remember last time I was really concerned about blood pressure and the salt. And so ultimately I did talk with someone about that, and they said, you go with your gut. I mean, go with your body. You know, if your body says, I don't want any salt, then don't force salt into it. And
Yeah.
so, and I'm good on that. And my blood pressure is not as low as it was, but it's not crazy. It's like 127 over 74, 130 over 73, you know. But it was 115/70. So I don't know, maybe it was too low. Maybe I was dehydrated. I don't know. But was my normal thing. But yeah, and I feel maybe a little quicker mentally. So that's a good thing, that I don't have to struggle for words as much as I did before.
Good.
But things are really gradual, and I'm not expecting any kind of miraculous changes right away, but I'm hoping for them nevertheless. But I'm really hoping, I'm really glad to be in this group and hoping that you guys can lead me through. I know it's been probably, for some of you, a couple of years since you were at the very beginning of the Dr. Boz stuff, but I'm just hoping for some pointers, I guess.
Could I mention one other thing?
Absolutely.
Did you guys listen to Dr. Boz this week?
Yeah,
I was out of town.
She's
James-
starting to
Clear.
use the Atomic Habits book. And I had listened to it a couple of years ago,
Yeah.
but I wanted to give you guys all a tip if you're interested in following that. There is a YouTube audio copy of that thing. And while I'm in the swimming pool, I've got my Bluetooth earphones on and I'm listening to that. Now, I will tell you, you understand, YouTube is free. So to listen to a book on tape for free is good, but it's not a perfect copy and it has a couple of skips in it. But I mean, other than that, if you want to, I don't know if you, I'm addicted to listening to everything audio. So if I can get an audio copy of the book, I'd much prefer it. So in case you're interested in following Dr. Boz's Atomic Habits, you can get a copy on YouTube.
I think we have it in our Audible. Yeah, I think we have it in our Audible library. I'm not sure. Yeah, it's in our library. I should listen to that again. Looks like I bought it nearly 4 years ago, and I should probably listen to it again. Because I need to get some better habits, whether they're atomic or they're gas driven or they're electric. I need me some new habits. I'd even take some wood burning habits that are better than the ones I have right now. So I have to do something about that, but that's good. Yeah, I didn't get to listen to this week's live because I was out of town, and actually, I was driving while it was on. I think I was driving. I can't remember.
Well, it's on YouTube.
Yeah, I'll go back and watch it. Like I said, I just came in. I got home just as I needed to be starting this up, and that's why we had the technical difficulties at the beginning, because I usually get rid of everything that loads on my computer before I have to start the meeting, but I had to start the meeting and then get rid of all that, and it caused problems. So anyway, so hi Melody, do you think you're on now for good, or do you want to talk to us, or you want to chat with us on the chat? Because Melody's come in and out. I'm sure you guys have seen. She sometimes has technical difficulty. Okay, she thinks she's on for good. She hopes so. Any questions this week? Any good things this week, Melody, you have to report? And Wilma, I love your kitty. Oh, yes, she has something good to report. Good. We'll wait for that. So, out of Dr. Boz's book, the Keto Continuum book, she suggests for people wanting to start keto to go out and get those buffalo wings and everything. I think it's because most people love them and find them very filling, and you can get a large amount of them and stuff yourself silly. But I'm not a liker of chicken. I don't like chicken. And I don't have any desire ever to eat buffalo wings. And there rarely can you get a sauce on them that doesn't have some sort of sugar. But I think what Dr. Boz was saying in her book about it um, was, for your very first day, rather than, like making yourself eat, a plain hamburger, nothing on it, that you could go and treat yourself to all this meat and it be tasty and fun, and you don't have to feel like I'm limiting myself. But yeah, later on, it's not going to be good.
I get them in the grocery store in a bag, and you just cook them in your oven, and you can get stuff with no carbs in it. There's no carbs in buffalo wings.
Yeah. The sauce is what I was talking
With the
about.
sauce, the buffalo wing sauce, the regular sauce doesn't have any carbs in it.
Oh, it doesn't?
Mm.
I am
It's
not at all.
It's not like barbecue sauce. So it
Oh,
doesn't
okay.
matter. You don't, it's not barbecue sauce. It's a
Yeah.
hot wing, for like Frank's Red Hot type sauce. It's not barbecue. And since you don't like chicken, you wouldn't know, but I just buy chicken wings in the freezer section, a bag of them, and you just cook them yourself. And you just read the label, but there's usually no carbs.
Okay, so does everybody see Melody's chat? She says she's 5 inches off her waist, down 15 pounds, but her hips are not going down as fast. Her neck is 1.5 inches off, and now double rather than triple. Oh, chin, I think it's a double chin instead of a triple chin. Hope I don't be a pear disfigured, like a pear shape. She's in week 10 or 11, she can't remember, and she found some pea protein because Melody is our vegetarian in the group, so it's hard for her to find protein. So hope to keep my muscle mass. Yes. Oh, and yes, I saw on Facebook that she got a new pup, and she's hoping to train it for walking. Oh yeah, it is a chin she was talking about. Yay! It's really
Yeah,
good.
I walked with my new puppy today. He doesn't like to walk at my house, but we go to the park and he walks just fine at the park. So my dog's a good walking dog too.
Our dog loves to walk when it's not below 0. When it's below 0, like it is most of the winter, she's not really interested.
Well, my dog won't walk at my house in my subdivision. He'll just pull himself home and doesn't want to do it. But we go to a park and he's good.
Oh, so he doesn't want to walk around the houses and stuff?
No.
Really?
He will not.
Wow.
I don't know what it is that he doesn't like, and
It has to do with the smells.
I think it might have to do with the cars.
Yeah.
Maybe he doesn't.
But if he can smell other dogs, he'll be anxious to check out every tree. But if there's no other dogs walking around,
they're not walking around. But when we go by houses, when he did walk, like the first couple of times that we'd go by houses and the dogs would be barking. We couldn't see the dogs, but they would be barking, and then he would just pull himself. He pulled me home. He wouldn't.
Huh. Well,
But
he's just a pup. How old is he?
5 months.
5 months. Yeah, he's just a little pup. Yeah.
Now hopefully he gets
Bella,
better. And
our
not be
Bella
so.
wants to investigate all the dogs. Yeah, but we don't let her because so many of the other dogs are big dogs who want to eat her for lunch. So anyway.
So I hope Melody's dog is a good walker dog.
Yeah. I forget what kind of dog it is. What kind of dog is it, Melody? And how old is it? It's a rescue dog that's been in kennel or a rescue situation for a year or more. And so it has to get used to being in a home environment again. Oh, it's a Great Dane, 7 years old with some Mastiff, they say. Okay. Yeah. Yeah, that's a big dog. Don't have to worry about another dog eating it for lunch. Like
Well,
my
today
little
was a
dog.
beautiful day here. It was 77, I think.
I think we actually got above zero today.
Oh, that's so good.
May
Ooh.
have.
Yes, we did. Yeah, I think we were like 12 above.
Woo!
Oh, a heat
Heat
wave.
wave.
Wow.
Yeah, we had to be careful when we're outside. We didn't overheat, you know.
Jeez, we're at zero right now. So anyway. Okay, anybody have any other comments or questions or anything? It's right straight up 8 o'clock. We lost Becky. She had to go.
I think I
And
need to tell you guys, I don't think I told you. My husband has been reading the Keto Continuum now for 2 or 3 weeks, almost 3 weeks.
good.
And he's so cute talking about, oh, that David, he's something else. He said, I'm not like David. Am I? Am I like David? And I said, no, you're not like David. But it's really cute that he's reading the book. I'm really appreciative because it's good for him to know what I'm talking about, you know, and
Mhm.
it's good.
Yeah. Yeah, you told us last week that he was willing to read it and started reading it and everything. So he's continuing. That's great. That's great. It's like I talked my husband into reading the I don't know if you guys know. It's a series of books called the Outlander series.
Yeah.
And I talked him into start reading them and stuff because I'm a crazy fan of the books. I like the television series, but I really like the books.
I got to
And
book 5 like 20 years ago and I couldn't get past book 5. So I
oh,
stopped reading them.
the Fiery Cross, that one drags a bit.
Oh my
Um,
God, the first day was 180 pages and it wasn't done yet. And I could not read it. I could not read anymore.
Yeah, the thing on the ridge, it just went on, not on the ridge, at the gathering was it just went on and on and on. I'm like, is this woman ever going to eat breakfast? You know, because she keeps
Well,
talking about breakfast, but she never eats it. She's changing
well,
people's
yeah.
diapers and fishing people out of the creek, and she never eats breakfast.
Yeah, I'm a reader. I worked at a library for 7 years when I
Yeah.
was younger, and I could not get past book 5, and that was the last I ever read of it.
Yeah.
Well, this is off topic, but I have to tell you that we love watching British TV.
Oh yeah.
And, you know, Agatha Christie and Perot and all that stuff. And, you know, I don't care who killed her. I don't care who the killer is. I'm much more interested in seeing how they decorate their houses
Oh, I love the
and how their
costumes.
gardens look. I love
Yeah.
looking into people's, especially if it's a period, you know, a different
Yeah.
period than what we have now. I love that kind of stuff.
Yeah, I like Hercule Poirot too, and I love the Art Deco because you know that's late 20s, early 30s of Poirot, and I love the clothing. I love the house decorations and everything. It's quite cool stuff.
Well, I
And
don't watch TV. I mean, I haven't watched TV really in 20 years or 30 years, who knows? But Elizabeth, you mentioned last week on YouTube that you watch those Secret Eaters. So I watched 2 shows.
oh, did you?
It's crazy. I mean, they're all kind of the same, you know, really,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
they were kind of funny to watch a few of them.
Yeah, it's amusing, you know, and it's like these people are like, I don't know why I weigh 350 pounds. I eat healthy. And then you see the secret cameras and how they're eating chocolates and donuts and everything at work.
All they
And
eat is carbs all day long. Is that a British thing to just eat that crap? I don't
well,
know. They eat bread and they eat potatoes and cheese and they're just gravies and oh my God, I didn't think I ate that way even
Yeah,
even
and
before.
they're very much into double cream, and double cream is our heavy whipping cream. But they're into double cream while they're still eating all the carbs and stuff, you know?
Oh yeah,
And
they poured the
so,
cream right into something, like, I can't remember what it was, on a cake or something, I don't know.
yeah, they poured it into one of them, they poured it into a cake. But the thing is that I saw in that show was they were so focused on calories, you know, and being low fat, that they paid no attention to all the carbohydrates they were eating at all. And you're right, Tammy, tons of carbohydrates.
Oh
Just,
my God, it was
I,
awful. And that,
yeah,
the one girl though, she watched, she watched a video of herself eating at a restaurant and stuff, and she's like, oh my God, is that what people see when they look at me eating? You know, or is that what people see when they see me? And they're like, yeah, yeah. And she felt mortified. So, so I hope
yeah.
it's a catalyst to have her, you know, change her ways. And
Well, you know, at the end of the show, most of them have lost some weight or some inches, or they've started exercising and everything. And even though they haven't found out about the carb thing, you know, at least they're working towards being more healthy. And, you know, that one man that was eating 8,000 calories a day and he couldn't understand why he's 300 pounds. um, Almost all of those calories were carbs, and he really cut back and everything, and lost, I thought, 15 pounds or more in a very short period of time. So I mean, it's a stepping stone. I mean, all of us have probably tried many other diets, including ones that wanted to do calorie restriction or totally non-fat, absolutely non-fat and stuff. And I think it's a process for each of us as to how we get to keto and how we make the decision to do keto, you know?
and some of these people, I mean, keto works, other diets work too. So maybe they will find something that works for them too, even if it's not keto. Because
Yeah.
I mean, all diets work when you're doing it, but most people go off the diet when they get to their weight, and that's why they gain it all back. So if you can lose your weight and then stay on healthy eating and not go back to your old habits, which is what keto is, because you're not really allowed to go back to your old habits. This is just the way you eat now.
Yeah. Yeah, this is the way you're supposed to eat now.
Yeah,
So,
but people who think of a diet as, well, it's temporary during this phase of my life, and then when I'm not dieting, I don't have to do this, you know, and that's what a diet, they think a diet is.
mhm.
Well, isn't the magic of keto though? I mean, the fact that the fat is helping to repair your hormones and rebalance your metabolism so that that you work correctly. Because like my neighbor, she's like, I can only eat 600 calories a day. I said, what do you mean? And she said, well, I was eating 1,200, but I started gaining weight, you know, and I'm thinking, oh my gosh, your metabolism is broken. But I'm not going to tell her that, you know, when I'm just starting this out. But
Yeah.
that's really what it's about, you know.
Yeah, you're exactly right. Listen, I did OptiFast 20 years ago, and I got their certificate, you know, that I had lost 50 pounds. And then I went right back to eating the old way and, you know, gained it all back again. So if you don't fix the problem, which I think keto fixes the problem, it gets to the mitochondria issue and the insulin issue, which is, I think, what Dr. Boz is saying. You got to take care of that insulin issue.
Mhm.
And so if you don't fix that problem, it's just going to come back, and it's going to come back worse.
Well, and I also think the magic of keto is that you're never hungry. I am never hungry. I mean, I eat because the clock says it was, or I eat because I came home and I eat, and I'm going to try Patricia's fasting again. But I'm never hungry. So that's my magic of keto, is I'm never hungry. People don't believe you that you're never hungry. They don't understand how you can never be hungry, but I'm not.
That's a beautiful thing. You know what I did, before I started this, I did the Ombre Lab, the stool sample where they analyze your bacteria. So I had 35,000 different, different types of bacteria, but number one is Firmicutes, 90%. So Firmicutes, there's two biggies. One is Firmicutes and the other is Bacteroides. You've heard of this, have you?
Mhm.
Okay, so Firmicutes is the one that is is associated with obesity. And Bacteroides is the one that you want to have because it wastes calories. All those bacteria waste calories. Firmicutes is really miserly. It eats up everything and turns it to energy and to fat in your gut. So yeah, 90%. That's great. So hopefully now I'll use my 20% off coupon and get another test in a little while and, you know, see what I'm having. But they actually tell you what things that you should eat, like celery and Brussels sprouts are two foods, and asparagus. And you know, this is my problem with keto is I love vegetables. I love vegetables. So, and I'm not talking, you know, 2 ounces. I'm talking a little bowl of vegetables. Yum, yum. So, but you know, when I was measuring those, you know, that's almost out of the carb realm already. So that's sad to me.
Yeah.
Very
Yeah, Melody could sing you a song about that because you know she's a
yep, me too.
she's a vegetarian, and the other thing is Melody feels hungry sometimes. Not always, Melody. You've told me that, you know, sometimes when you do a 24, you don't really feel that hungry anymore. But I know you're hungry because of the problem of getting enough fats for Melody. Um, because let's face it, vegetables are not fatty. And even though she cooks them in butter, I don't think it's enough fat, you know. And so
Right.
it's hard. It's hard being a vegetarian and doing keto. It can be done, but it's hard. And
Trisha just disappeared.
So
yeah, she gets tired around 9 o'clock her time, eight o'clock our time, and she told me don't take it personal if I leave, you know, without saying bye.
can I ask one last thing, and then I don't want to keep everybody, but what kinds of things are in your typical day? And do you do meals as meals? Do you do like breakfast, lunch, and dinner, or do you do the 16-8, or do you do all different things?
Well, for me, right at this moment, because of the wackadoodle way I'm sleeping, I usually will have one meal sometime late morning or early afternoon, and that is usually consists of eggs or bacon, and I try and have a vegetable with that. And then later in the day, I usually have a pork steak or some bacon, or some ham. And it's gotten too late in the day for me. um, a lot of times because then I'm up half the night, you know, like I did a birth over the weekend. So I was up all night, you know, and when I'm up all night, I will get hungry during the night. Um, and so I try and eat like a boiled egg or some bacon or something decent, you know, rather than finding the chips my daughter has hidden somewhere, you know. um, but it's hard. That's why I need to get myself back on a good sleeping schedule so that I can do what I want to do. What I want to do is eat just one meal a day, that it's a mixture of eggs and some sort of pork product and a
Okay.
vegetable.
Okay,
Um,
interesting.
Tammy, what do you do? When do you eat?
I do not eat breakfast, and but I do drink hot tea with whipping cream, so I do get calories in the morning. And I drink a shake for lunch, and that's usually around 12:30. I might have beef sticks or other, you know, no no carb snacks, along with my shake, or, within an hour, maybe like between 12 and 1. But I drink a shake. I know it's bad, but I don't mind. I'm at work. On the weekends, I don't do that, but I'm at work and it's just easy for me to do that. And then I come home and I have dinner. Tonight I had bacon and eggs. Yeah, last night I had a Mexican keto thing. It just depends. My husband works second shift, so he's not here, and I have chicken thighs. I was gonna get out chicken thighs maybe for tomorrow night. So I usually just have chicken because I don't really have a lot of vegetables because they're just too many carbs, and so I just kind of eat chicken and vegetables, meat and vegetables, but not a lot of vegetables. So I eat 2 times a day, basically, between 12 and 1, and probably somewhere between 4 and 6.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm very repetitive on my vegetables. I eat a lot of tomatoes and cucumbers and broccoli and cabbage and the occasional asparagus. That okay, so sometimes I have lettuce and spinach, but it's not very often. Just because I usually will only eat like 1 serving of vegetables a day. Because what I've noticed with my body is I really need eggs every day. I need them. I have some problems with shortness of breath if I don't eat them. If you didn't know, eggs are rich in albumin, which helps with the fluid balance in the body. It's one of the 2 hormones that help balance our fluids, and balancing the fluids help with blood pressure. And so I usually will eat about 4 eggs, sometimes as many as 6 or 8 eggs a day. The other day I did not eat any eggs in like 36 hours, and my blood pressure shot up, and I got into a heart arrhythmia situation because I hadn't had any eggs. And I don't eat beef because I react to beef with shortness of breath, and I don't like that. And I don't like chicken, and I don't like turkey, and I will eat fish, but I live in a landlocked state that doesn't get fresh fish, So when I eat fish, it's sardines or it's tuna or it's one of the white fishes. But I find that fish doesn't keep me full because it doesn't have a lot of fat. So I seem to get hungry quicker with fish. So what I've been doing is when I eat tuna, I've been cooking up some bacon and chopping it up and mixing it in with the tuna. And then I'll like put it on some lettuce and some spinach and eat it with that. So I have very repetitive eating, where I'm eating the same vegetables, the same kind of meals over and over. And I love egg salad. So I will boil up like 24 eggs and peel them all and mush them all and put mayonnaise and pickle relish, dill pickle relish in them. And I'll just eat a big old bowl of that. Just nom, 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 nom. And so Melody's asking, does anyone make keto breads and desserts? I haven't because there's so many things added to keto breads and desserts that I can't eat. Like I can't have coconut flour. I can't have almond flour. I can't have milk and whipping cream and things like that. So I just haven't. And the other thing is I think, me personally, that when I get a taste of sweet stuff, it makes me crave sweet stuff. And so I don't make any of the keto desserts or breads because they're all disappointing. I have been thinking about making some of that egg bread. Tammy, have you done any of that where you
I
use
don't do
just
that. I do buy stuff from the keto store in town, which they have this really awesome egg, bacon, and cheese biscuit It's awesome. I'm sure it's got almond flour or something in it.
Mhm.
And I told you they have those, I buy keto desserts from them to have every once in a while too, but I don't really make any of those.
Mhm.
I just buy them, and I don't make any of the bread. My husband's the cook in the house, and he's on second shift, so he's never home, and he never cooks for me anymore.
Yeah. Yeah, so sorry, Melody. None of us seem to do that. I want to try that egg bread because it looks like a lot of work, and I'm totally lazy. I'm a completely lazy person. I like to cook and I can cook, but everything I know to cook isn't keto. You know? But I'd like to try the egg bread because it does look yummy, and I do miss bread. I miss bread. But most of the keto thing, I was in a Walmart today and I looked at the keto friendly cereals. Well, they're not really that friendly. Um, I mean, they tout on the outside, oh, 6 carbs, 6 carbs. Well, that's net carbs. When you look at the actual carbs, it's 16 carbs. It's like, um, so they look yummy, but it's not worth 16 carbs to me, you know. The regular fruity cereal, rice cereal that my daughter eats is 24 carbs, and I'm like, and it doesn't have almond flour in it and a bunch of stuff that I can't have. But so yeah, it's just better for me to stay away from that stuff because when I get into that stuff, I start wanting more. And me wanting more is never a good place to be.
Me either.
Yeah. So, well, I think we'll quit right there. It's about 8:20. And how would pea protein work as flour? I would think it's okay. I don't know what it is about pea protein. I tried it in a shake before keto, you know, when I wanted to try and be healthy. And I was thinking, oh, I'll drink a shake, you know. Um, and so I got some pea protein that was supposedly vanilla flavored, and you know, put it in water and zhuzh it up, and it's supposed to be tasty. It made me very puffy and swelly, made me retain fluid. So, but that's my strange body. You know, I retained fluid with the rice protein and stuff too, you know. So it's just not for me, you know. So I hope it works for you, Melody, because you definitely need a protein, you know. And so but for me it made me swell. But I swell at a lot of things. uh, I look at a muffin and I start to swell because of the gluten.
Hey,
So
I'm gonna take this phone call. I have to go.
yeah, all right, good night, ladies. I'll
Right.
turn
Good
off the
night.
recording. Good night.
Good night.